Hello and welcome to Box, a Formula One podcast. I am Lance Stroll's failed rear tire, Shannon Hayes.
And I am Max Verstappen's failed rear tire, Merel.
Today we are talking about the very exciting, very eventful Baku Grand Prix, Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Holy
what a race.
Crap, dude. I feel like this is the exact race that everyone wanted to see, like, going into 2021. Like, we knew it was going to be a pretty wild season. This was really, you know, the cream of the crop, I would say, in terms of exciting races, because holy shit, man. Oh, God, I don't even know where to start. I was screaming at the TV. It's 8 a.m. here in New York, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
No, I think I jumped out of my chair, like, at least 3 times. There was one point where I was like, okay, now it's okay to go do laundry, and then literally I was, like, outside hanging my clothes, and then I heard, like, Ariel, my roommate, and, her boyfriend, like, screaming at me, so I had to run back inside, and it was the point where, like, they were about to do the restart, and I was just like...
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Okay.
Alright, let's start from quali. We should just start from quali.
Should we start at quali, or should we start at...
Or, okay. I guess quali wasn't that interesting. Well, no, it was, though. Oh, yeah, we should start from quali.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I missed practice and I kind of missed quali, so
okay, that's fine. I also didn't really watch practice. I just saw the funny thing was that Charles did, like, I mean, a lot of them actually did, but Charles did, I think it was the same corner as the one where...
Was it the same corner? I thought it was different.
Corner 30. Oh, it might have been different. But either way, he still crashed, and it was really funny.
I know.
I am stupid.
God. He needs to say those fateful words again.
Yeah, he should have said
Hey, he finished the race this time, so...
True.
You know what?
That's true.
That's a win in our book. Oh, yeah, we should start... Yeah. Literally, so I did watch, like, the last little bit of quali, and I was very happy, as, you know, my full simp self saw Charles take pole. That was very exciting. And, I think... He couldn't really hold on to it in the race today, but, you know, at least he got there.
But we do need to talk about the fact that he got there because there was another red flag, like, and so, like, half the grid couldn't do their second lap. So, like, the only reason he really ended up on pole was because of the same reason why he ended up on pole in Monaco.
You know what? I think... You know, maybe Bonato is a fan of this podcast, and he heard Sam's suggestion of why not make Carlos crash, so you don't mess up the... Yeah, maybe he heard it, and he was like, oh, good point, and he started taking notes.
Sam.
He was like, yeah, good point, Sam.
Yeah, we should mention that Sam, this week and next week, is off camping, so she will not be joining us on the pod. She's up in the mountains somewhere, living her best life. She's off the grid. Off the grid, yeah.
But focusing back on the grid real quick, the lineup was very much due to that Ferrari crash. Yeah. So you know what? I'm here for it. The conspiracy is alive and well in my brain. It keeps happening, and I want it to continue happening, because it's funny every single time it happens.
Yeah. No, it is. Also, it makes it exciting, because, like, if everyone would have had their, although, I guess Perez could definitely have started higher, but, like, he obviously, he didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But, no, it was exciting. It was an exciting quali, and it was just fun to see that, like, the starting grid was, like, shuffled up a bit again, because, like, even though Hamilton was still starting in P2, like, I don't know. It's just fun to have someone else on P1.
Yeah. I always enjoy watching Maddie, WTF1, freaking out and simping for Charles, because you know what? He's giving my inner monologue as well in those drunk tweets of his. I'm like, boy, me too. We're all out here for Charles. We love Chuck. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, and then he, like, I really thought that he was going to hold on to first for a bit longer because of how thin Baku is. But,
me too.
Nope. He lost it in, like, what, the second or third lap? Instantly. Instantly.
Also,
was
like,
just...
not to just one person. Also, then immediately, like, that next lap, too, like, he just went from P1 to, like, P4 or 5, and it was very sad to see. I think that's where you see, like, although the Ferrari is better this season, it still just is no match for the Mercedes and the Red Bull.
I think it's good at, like, putting down a solid lap time in quali on one run, but it doesn't have the consistency to be able to keep doing it and keep up in a race setting.
Not yet.
So that's what they're struggling with.
Anyway, should we go to the race now? Because what a race.
We should probably talk about tires.
Pirelli, like, what the fuck is going on there? This is another conspiracy, like, what?
Yeah, so they changed the tire, like, compounds for Baku this year, which I think was part of it because they made them a step softer, if I was, like, reading that correctly, which is why everyone was using the hards for most of the race, because I guess, I don't know, it was a weird call. And then they also had, I think for the 2021 season, they had changed something about the tires. I didn't really catch what it was when they were commentating on it.
They were saying, like, it used to be 31 and now it's 29, but I don't know what that number means.
Yeah. Boy, I wish I knew more about tires.
I wish Sam was here. I wish Sam... We had a tire episode. Why didn't we cover this?
You know what's funny is, like, when Sam's not here, this is just us bullshitting. Pretending we know what we're talking about, and no one is here to correct us. And that's how we get things like Porchy, you know? that's how we end up saying things like Porsche and getting away with it.
Yeah, it's true. And Sam's not here, so it's fine. We can just say whatever. It's true in our world.
Yeah, from what I understand, since Sam is not here, the Pirelli tires this year are actually made out of helium balloons, and that is why...
That's why 2 popped, and...
Yeah, 2 popped, yep. So, Sam, if you're out there, you let me know 2 weeks from now if you have any thoughts.
Yeah. No, but, so it was, like, both left rears of Max and Stroll had the same thing where, like, the wear was just too much, I guess, and like, the tire just couldn't bear it, because Stroll's tire, I guess, was older because he hadn't pit after 30 laps, but the commentators were saying that the hards should, in theory, last 40 laps, like, that's what Pirelli has said, and then they were also saying, I don't know if you heard Christian Horner or, like, Max's mechanic, I think, talking to the FIA, being like, we had no indication that this was going to happen. And
they said, I think they were specifically referring to, sorry to cut you off, they were referring to, like punctures. So they were saying, since there was no indication on their system, they know it wasn't a puncture, it was a tire failure.
It was
it was the same thing with Aston Martin.
Stroll.
They didn't have any indication of, like, a puncture either. It was just the tire fail. So and they were both on those really fast straights right after a bunch of turns, so that's yikes, because they're going fast at that point. Like, that is not the point for a tire to fail, like, but I know they were talking about a lot of the load that's on the tire because of those turns, and then once they're going down those straights and they're really heating up,
I mean, it makes sense, but also, like, these tires, how long has Pirelli been in F1? Like, at this point, they've had so many races at Baku, they know, like, what kind of tire they need. Like, you can't just go changing the fucking tire last minute.
And it's exactly like what the commentator said, like, there's more intense tracks on this, like, for the rest of the year that are going to put even more load on the tires, so... Right. I can only imagine the conversations that are going to be happening with Pirelli today, because, oh boy, it's a lot.
Some shouting. Christian Horner is going to be throwing some punches. Max is going to be throwing some punches. Yeah. Maybe Lawrence Stroll might throw some punches.
Oh my god, I have to talk about Lawrence Stroll checking on Lance, like, right after. I was really nervous for Lance too. I thought he had a concussion or something because like he wasn't moving for a bit.
Yeah, I texted you too, and I was like, because it was at least, I want to say at least like 15 to 20 seconds where the camera was just on him and he wasn't even moving, like not even his hand. And then like after that, very slowly, he was like fiddling with his steering wheel. But like I was scared because it looked so bad.
It was such a fast crash, and it was so, like, he was able to control it surprisingly well, keeping it out from, like, the middle of the track, because there was, like, 2 or 3 cars right behind him, but also, like, it was so out of control, like, the way he was just, like, spinning around so rapidly. It was scary. I feel like, I don't know, very possible he did get a concussion from that, because...
Yeah, and honestly, same with Max, because I don't know if you saw them side by side, like, it was legit the exact same, just on the other side of the road, basically. Like, it was kind of crazy how, like, identical those two crashes were.
So, I want to also talk about how when Max crashed, that was one of the points at which I was screaming at the TV in the tender hours of the morning. Too. Because, if you don't know, he's currently leading the championship by, is it 1 point? Is it literally 1 point?
I think it's 3 points.
He was leading the championship by very few, and it would mean that if he got the DNF there, Lewis was going to reclaim the championship, because he was in, like, second the whole race. And then it was probably going to mean that, you know, we weren't even going to see Max in the running for the championship anymore, because... That DNF, that 0 points would be basically done. So like, the gap would be way too big.
It's 4 points difference, but and also just that, like, I mean, he could still catch up, but like we've seen in the past, once Lewis is like slightly ahead, it's just so hard to catch up. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because like the one thing that I really admire about Lewis, at least, is that, like, even when he has, like, those really shit races, he will never retire the car willingly on his end. Yeah. Like, he will still chug it out in, like, a half-broken car if it means just not getting the DNF. Yeah. So, I do admire that about him, but that also makes it so hard to, like...
beat him.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like... You know, if he's ahead, you can't really come back because he's just so much more dedicated than I think a lot of the other people are.
We should talk about the start too, though, because I was so impressed with Checo's start. Like, he just fucking flew by so many people. And, like, well, yesterday already, when he, like, qualified in, like, what was it, P7, I was like, oh, Checo's gonna have such a good race tomorrow, because every time he qualifies, like, kind of poorly in Q3, he does so fucking well in the race. Like,
he's so good at overtaking and not great at defending, I think, in my opinion.
That's why I was so worried when they were like, oh, we're gonna do, like, a standing start. I was like, fuck, no, not Checo at P1, because, like, that always goes bad.
So let's talk about the highs and lows of this race. The main low being Max is failing and thinking, fuck, he is no longer in the running. It's just going to be another Lewis Hamilton championship after
like,
this.
I was nearly crying. That's one of the point where I started, like, jumping up and down, being like, fuck, like, something needs to happen to Lewis.
Yeah. I know. I jokingly, like, texted, like, oh, we need a Lewis tire failure now. So then you guys won't believe what happens at the restart. Literally, first turn. First of all, they do their formation lap. Lewis's tires are literally steaming from how much he's heated them up.
Yeah, his brakes are so hot. Like, I think they were fuming. And then, like, when they were, like, ready at the start too, you could just see smoke clouds, like,
I know,
like, engulfing him.
I had a moment where I was just like, that can't be good, can it?
Yeah, like,
obviously it ended up not being. But I was like, I feel like Lewis and Mercedes know what they're doing. Like, there's no reason they would unintentionally heat the tires up that much to where they're literally steaming. And then they did. So apparently Mercedes has their own, like, special system called, like, brake magic or something, where I don't know how the system works. Sam's not here to help us, so
it's Sam's fault that we're giving you, like, only partial information.
Yeah, you're getting half-truths here, so take this entire episode with a grain of salt. But they have brake magic over at Mercedes. wherein a tiny wizard casts a spell on the tires.
To heat the tires. To heat the tires,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's what the brake magic is. And he did it too hard this time.
Yeah.
So,
the wizard cast a spell that was just too powerful.
Yeah, it was way too much. He couldn't rein it in. And so then at the start, we were like, oh, fuck, Checo's going to get passed instantly, too. Because at that first turn, I think it's pretty easy to, like, you know, probably pass on that side that, like, second place is on at that first turn. Because Checo also had to defend third place behind him, which was Vettel at the time.
Yeah.
And then so you saw him swerving back and forth, and then just in time, you see this huge lockup from Hamilton, brakes smoking fully, and he just drives straight into the runoff area, does not turn, does not pass go, does not collect $200. He does finish the race because, again, he doesn't accept DNFs, so he did at least finish, but that was
fucking crazy.
I screamed. I was like, this was a miracle, because now Max is still in the running for world champion, and that's really all we wanted.
We just wanted someone that isn't Hamilton up on the podium.
So now we have to talk about Vettel, Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin.
Literally crying, and how the fuck did he do that? Honestly, well, to be fair, he had a very good strategy. I think Aston Martin, like, really, like, thought about that today. Cause
these past two races, they've really honed in. And I don't know if it's just because of street circuits being a little bit slower. Maybe that's why they're a little bit, but, you know.
No, but, like, he had a really, really good drive. And, like, then I think he undercut, like, a few cars doing the pit stop earlier. Oh, no, later. Yeah. He overcut because he pitted later, right?
Yeah.
Either way, they were on a good strategy, and, like, Vettel just drove so strongly today. I was expecting him to maybe come P4, P5, but, like, P2 is just better than anyone could have hoped for. Like,
it was funny, he was leading, truly. So, the podium overall was Perez, Vettel, and then Gasly, which we'll get to Gasly.
Yeah, we'll get to Gasly.
Oh my god. But back to Vettel real quick. Yeah, he did overcut. I remember because he was leading the race about halfway through for like a while.
Oh yeah, that's true.
One of my friends texted me and was like, "How is Vettel in P1 in an Aston Martin right now?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, he just hasn't pitted yet. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And then, like, not don't worry. I love him being in first.
Yeah,
let me just
too.
say. But I was like, this isn't gonna last.
Yeah.
Little did I know, my dumbass self.
Fucking strategy. He was overcutting everyone.
Strategy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty incredible. And also, like, great on him because everyone's tire failed in the second half of the race.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
He really managed it well.
Yeah, managing those tires and making sure that you have fresher tires than everyone else for that second half. Little did I know that was going to be the way to do it. Because when I saw Mercedes and Red Bull pitting pretty early on into the race, I was like, oh, okay, so Vettel is just going to do shit after this, because if he's not on the same tire strategy as them, then it's over. But
well, Mercedes in general just did terrible. Can we talk about Bottas for a sec? Because what is going on?
Where was he?
He was like in P14 the whole time. Like, what happened? I felt bad for him because, like, he just was not having a day. Like, today was shit for him. Like, I'm sure he was just depressed in that car the whole entire time.
I honestly was not even focused on Mercedes for most of this race. Did they have a shit pit stop this race, or did I think Hamilton did, right?
No, Perez did. Hamilton did because Gasly, like, came into the pits as Hamilton was trying to come out, but then, so he, like, had to wait, and that's, I don't know, I want to say part of the reason why Perez was able to, like, overcut him, but also Perez had a slow pit stop because his front, like, took longer to go on, but, like, overall the pit stop, Bottas had perfect pit stops this time around, so maybe I don't know what's going on with Bottas, because he just had a shit race. He's in one of the fastest cars. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, God, he was so low down. The cameras were not focused on him at any point in the race. Like,
never. I don't think I saw him once. Yeah.
Also, the McLarens did surprisingly poor. You know, they weren't horrible, but I just always expect them to do better, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Norris, I think the reason that he came P5 today was because he had the 3 grid penalty.
Oh, that's right.
3 grid three grid place penalty.
Yeah, you got it.
Ricardo, I mean, yeah, he is doing terribly lately, so no changes there.
Yep. Nothing to report on that front.
Kimmy got his first points, though. Kimmy got his first points.
I know. Oh my god.
So that's good.
What happened to Ocon, by the way?
Failure. I think. Yeah, he got a. It's like mechanical failure or something.
Oh shit.
So
I didn't even see that.
And so did George. George did too.
Really?
He didn't even do the start. He went to the start and then immediately went into the pits, like the second start.
Shit.
Yeah.
I was so fixated on Hamilton and Perez,
yeah.
I did not even pay attention to anyone else in that scenario.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow, what a race. Okay, we have to talk about
AlphaTauri.
My boy Pierre. Let me tell you, as an AlphaTauri stan, this has been my inner fangirl has been so pushed deep down inside of me for this season due to the embarrassment and shame of how much I hyped them up at the start.
Yeah.
And I was I really was yo, Pierre and Yuki look like they're gonna be so fast. The car looks fast. Everything looks fast. They're gonna be so
all
good.
3 of us, yeah.
You know, and then what did we get? Dog shit for every race up until today. But not anymore. Now we have a Pierre P3, so we know it's possible if 2 or 3 cars ahead of him fail, then you know it's
he can do it.
You know, it's all the better for Pierre.
No, but he was having a really strong race. He really did well. And Yuki too, to be honest. Yuki was also
Yuki had a good race too.
Yuki pulled in some points today, and it was they were competitive. Not where we said they would be, but
well, maybe they're building to that. Maybe by the end of the season they will be, the rocket ships we know they can be.
Yeah. No, they had a strong race, and it was just so good to see. And at the end, when Leclerc was trying to battle for P3 with Gasly, and Gasly was holding his ground, that was also really exciting. It was just really fun to see.
God, the Leclerc and Gasly battle when they were just bunny hopping over each other the entire time, swapping back and forth. Oh, that was so intense. And also just knowing that they've raced together for their entire careers and they have that sort of friendship rivalry. Oh, that was such good racing. You know what's funny is I feel that was such a good dramatic moment for every F1 fan that I can almost guarantee that it's not going to be in Drive to Survive, because at least if they focus on this race, they are not going to focus on the Pierre Leclerc angle of it, which
of course not.
It's probably the best angle you could look at it from, but whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, no. Oh, just such a good race. There was not one single time, I think, where I was I can go do something else now. Except for when I tried to do laundry, but I shouldn't have done that because I nearly missed the restart.
Yeah, I think, it's funny because, at least for me, the first, 80% of the race, up until Max's tire popped, up until Stroll's tire popped, I'll say, felt kind of run-of-the-mill. But it always felt like something was about to happen, if that makes sense. Because it was always, very close between everyone. So you didn't want to leave. But, no one was really doing too much overtaking. So you were just kind of, waiting. And then, oh boy, did they deliver in that last, 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. Wow. And also, because there was quite a few yellow flags in between, too, where, I don't know if you saw Mazepin, nearly fucking crashed. And, a bunch of stuff happened, but it was not until Stroll's incident that stuff really started to happen.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it was from, I think it was from practice or something, but Mazepin pissed off Kimi again. Kimi very aggressively drove around him. It might have been at quali, I don't know. I just really love those like drivers getting pissed at Mazepin compilations on YouTube because they're very funny. And he's pissed off, I think, half of the grid at this point. And it's funny when you watch them because all the comments are like, just you wait until he pisses off Max. Just wait.
Yeah.
Max will be throwing fists, dude. He's gonna catch those Dutchman's hands. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh. This is really what I've been missing. Like this one, Monaco, I guess, was really good too. But this is what we're here for. This kind of race.
This has been a really great season. I think there's only been one boring race. Everything else has had a good amount of drama, a good amount of suspense. Really great TV out there. So
yeah,
thank you to the writers of Formula One. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. So every race is written and scripted beforehand, right? So
this is actually not live.
Yeah, this isn't live. This is like a drama, actually.
Yeah. It's like, what's that boxing? Is it WWE or something? What that, like, it's all scripted?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, like, I really like the villain arc this season and having such a clear-cut villain that nobody likes. And I really like the underdog stories that we're getting here and there. That, you know.
Like Vettel and Perez, like, finally showing their true colors.
This one felt like, you know, it felt a little bit less real just due to the fact that, like, you know, we had that suspense with Max's tire failing. And then Lewis's
bit of repetition.
You know,
like
it was,
could
do
it was
less
a lot.
Of that. Although, like, rule of threes, though, it makes sense, right? So you get Stroll's tire failing, then Max's, and then finally get the
Hamilton.
Big payoff with Hamilton's tire.
True, you're right.
Yeah, it's a 3-act story. So classic, you know, build-up climax kind of scenario.
Right. And we've seen, like, Yuki's character arc, like, really, he like, started off strong, and then he became, like, this, like, angsty teen, and now he's, like, finally picking it back up again, and, like, you know, really showing us, like, what he came here to do.
Hero to villain. Yeah, hero to villain to redemption arc for you. It's great, you know. The writers this season have really been on it, so... Anyway, Sam, please feel free to let us know if we're wrong on any of that.
No, I think we got that. I think that's true.
I think this is all correct.
Yep.
So yeah, anyway, that about does it for this week's episode, I think. Thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to give us a follow on our socials. We are at BoxBoxBox Podcast on TikTok and Insta, and at BoxBoxBoxPod on Twitter. So please feel free to give us a follow and check out our content. Join us next week is there another race next week?
Yes, there is. I think it was supposed to be Canada, but I forget which one did they
replace? No, it's Paul Ricard, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is Paul Ricard. Wait.
Alright, yeah.
Oh my God.
Join us at France next week, for Paul Ricard. So that about does it. Thank you so much for listening.
I found how to say bye in Azerbaijan's, so I'm going to say bye.
I was going to do au revoir for Paul Ricard, so perfect.
Okay.
Let's do both.
Sagol.
Au revoir.